So, Sneako has just been banned off of YouTube. Some shit that I saw coming from a mile of fucking way. And the reality of the situation is this. It's not as cut and dry as free speech needs to be protected, Sneako should be on, how dare y'all do this? And it's also not as simple as Sneako said this, Sneako said that, get rid of him, never let him be on the platform. It's somewhere in the middle. Sneako made content about female nature, red pill, COVID, and not in the way that YouTube likes it. And he also made content mocking Muslims, and he told a Jewish person to go back to synagogue. These are all things that Sneako did. Now, all of that is a perfect shitstorm for getting removed off of YouTube. Let's just tell the God honest truth. All of that is the perfect shitstorm to lose 10 years of YouTube hard work, which is what Sneako put in. You can literally watch videos of Sneako from when he's a prepubescent teenager, fucking child, all the way up to where he is now, a man. All of that wiped completely off of YouTube, destroyed, demolished, banned. The reality is this. These multi-million-dollar platforms like YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and all these other platforms, there is such a thing as too much. And there is too much censorship going on right now. I genuinely believe that. There's far too much censorship going on. The reality of the situation is that deleting people like Sneako, Andrew Tate, and others off the platform permanently, but allowing people like Cynthia G, Cardi, and I love Cardi B, but Cardi B made a video talking about drugging men. These people who make nasty content about certain demographics that are considered privileged or powerful, we don't delete those people when they make content attacking those groups. But we do delete these people when they make content attacking marginalized groups. I don't have a problem with YouTube protecting groups of people, but we have to be consistent here. There has to be some level of consistency, right? On top of that, YouTube and all these other platforms enjoy the privilege of being the hub of public discourse. Everyone comes to these platforms to talk about the realities of the world, the news, the music, just everything going on is where we talk about all of this on YouTube, Twitter, sometimes even Twitch. Academics talks about it on Twitch. We come together and we speak about everything on these platforms. Long gone are the days of sitting in the public square watching another man tell you about the world. We're not sitting around, Benjamin Franklin standing at the city square with a fucking paper in his hand screaming at us. It's not 1950, 60 something where Martin Luther King is sitting in the Capitol and we're all, thousands of us watching him talk. That's not happening. People now access ideas from the tip of their fingers on a computer or on a phone. This is a new reality that we live in. And because of this new reality, when we censor people left and right, the First Amendment does come into play. Now, some people might say, hey, Rashad, these are private companies. The First Amendment doesn't apply. Well, we've stretched that with the whole Second Amendment thing, right? The argument from the left is, well, the founding fathers, when they came up with the First Amendment, they were talking about muskets, not AR-15s. They weren't talking about the weapons of war and mass destruction that we have today. Therefore, the Second Amendment needs to be changed. I would say that the First Amendment needs some tweaking too because of modernity. Because of the new modern world that we live in, the First Amendment does require some change in my opinion. I don't think it's fair for these companies to monopolize freedom of speech, to monopolize public discourse while simultaneously not being held to the First Amendment. I'm sorry. And here's the thing. I don't think these companies should be pushed out of their position of monopoly. If the majority of people say, we all want to use Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and fuck every other platform, this is what we want to use, I can't be mad at these platforms because everybody wants to use them. I can't be mad at that. However, the state needs to hold these platforms to a higher standard. You're deleting people off of the internet for what? You're deleting people off of the internet because of inflammatory content. How far are we going to take this? How far is inflammatory going to go? Who's next? What rules are we setting? Are we being consistent with this? And the answer is no. There is no consistency. Russell Brand just got hit with the work not too long ago too. But MSNBC and all these other platforms can put out misinformation and they're just fine. This is a current reality that we have where these platforms are not consistent with freedom of speech in any way, shape, or form. And we see people getting banned off of the internet, banned off of YouTube, banned off of Twitch, banned off of Twitter. However, I do got to point this out. Sneako has to take some level of accountability for his own ban. Sneako was wildin'. Let's keep it 100. Sneako was tripping. Sneako mocked Islam. He made videos mocking Islamic prayer. He literally mocked Islamic prayer. Sneako entertained ridiculous conspiracy theories about Jewish people with Nick Fuentes. Sneako did all types of shit that was just wild and out of control. And as a result, he received the ban that he's received now. There is a certain level of tact that you have to approach YouTube with. And I think that to an extent, it is somewhat good for the creator to operate within that level of tact. Because it forces you to be very, very careful with what you say. Freedom of speech is a very powerful right. It's a right, but a powerful one. And you have to wield it responsibly. When you are just attacking anything and being inflammatory for the sake, when you're just shooting off shock value for the sake of shock value, you're not really being responsible with your speech. You're not behaving in the right way. You're not pushing your message across properly. Should Sneako police himself? Not necessarily, but there's no denying that Sneako crossed some lines that YouTube understandably has. When you start attacking religions of people, when you start mocking them, when you tell a Jewish person to go back to synagogue, when you start angling yourself to, anti-Jewish conspiracy theories, YouTube does at some point have to step in. At some point, has to step in. And at the end of the day, Sneako wasn't careful about that. There is a level of tact you have to use when you approach these platforms and you start using them as a content creator instead of a content consumer. And some people might not like it. Some people might not like what I'm saying, but I'm keeping it 100. As a YouTuber myself, there is a certain level of tact you got to approach this with. And furthermore, if you really want to get your message across, you have to be careful. You got to be careful. You can't act like Sneako. You can't shoot from the hip like Sneako. If Sneako actually wanted to get his message across long term, he would have been a lot more careful with the things he said and the things that he did. Genuinely. He would have been a lot more careful. Sneako would still be here right now if he curtailed a lot of the wild bullshit he did, but he didn't. There's two sides to every story, and both of them can be true. And although I do believe that YouTube went too far with Sneako, as in permanently banning him, I do believe that Sneako also fucked up to a certain extent. I know people want it to be one side or the other. Pick a side. There's two sides to this. It's not 100% cut down the line as much as people wish it was. It's not. It's multifaceted at the end of the day. If people simply want me to give like one fucking explanation of shit, I'm not. I'm going to keep it 100. So at the end of the day, unfortunately, Sneako got banned. Hopefully other people who want to follow in his footsteps pay attention. Look alive. There are a lot of other people out there that talk about red pill shit that are still here. It's not necessarily because of that he got banned. Sneako went out of control. And that's why he got banned. It's not just because of red pill content. Let's just keep it 100. But at the end of the day, man, Sneako was wildin'. He did a lot of fucking crazy shit. Both of his channels got banned, and he is where he is now. It's fucking crazy. And hopefully we can see somewhat of a change where these companies become a little less biased. But I'm going to keep it 100 to y'all viewers. The main reason why your favorite YouTubers are getting banned and nothing's being done about it is because of you. Y'all don't make enough noise. You don't come out. You don't really do anything. You're not as vocal and as loud as the radical left. And that's why the radical left can get all of your favorite YouTubers banned for saying shit that their favorite YouTubers say too. Or maybe even their favorite YouTubers say worse. But because you're too pussy, because you don't care, because you're not loud enough, because you're not active enough, your favorite YouTubers are getting deleted off the internet. I think the audience forgets that although you are not the one with the camera in your hand, you still wield a boatload of power together in numbers. But until the audience realizes this, YouTubers will continue to get banned for having simple differences in opinion. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.